Welcome to the Westport Library. Today's program will begin momentarily. Supported by Verso Studios, created locally and shared with the world.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming to the Westport Library today. It is my great honor to welcome both the Westport Rotary's presidents here today. So please give a round of applause for Goldie James and Katie Augustin.
Oh, great. Thank you, Jennifer. You know, I cannot imagine another place that would be so awesome to have this event as the Westport Library. Do y'all agree? Yeah. I mean, it's not even a library, you know, totally anymore. It's everything. It's a community center. We have so many great events here. So thank you so much to the Westport Library for hosting us today. And yes, I'm Katie Augustin. I'm with the Westport Sunrise Rotary Club.
And I am Goldie James with the Westport Rotary that meets in the afternoon.
That's right. There are two Rotary clubs in Westport. Aren't we fortunate? And I'm told that we have the highest per capita of Rotary members anywhere in the country because of that. So that's pretty cool. Yes, and so we meet in the morning for breakfast, hence the sunrise, and they meet at lunch on Tuesdays. We meet on Fridays. Yeah.
Yes, feel free to come and join us. We were going to do a little dance for you. It's called the crab dance, the lobster dance and the duck dance, because those are our fundraisers, and we support 100 charities in the community here and outside of Westport. So please join us. Thank you. Also, don't forget the Lobster Fest, September 21st. Get your tickets.
All right, well then you can go to the Westport Uncorked wine tasting on October 24th. So we have so much in store for y'all this year. It's really gonna be fun. Yeah, so I think without further ado, we're just gonna introduce our district governor, right?
Yes.
Okay, so stay tuned momentarily. Robert Friend is our district governor for the whole of Southern Connecticut. He couldn't be here with us in person today, but he is really the impetus behind this Opus for Peace that you've been reading about in your program. So he's gonna have a video for us right now. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Robert Friend, District Governor for Rotary Southern Connecticut. And while I wish I could be with you in person today, I'm honored to join you through this video as we gather for this extraordinary event, Amistad the Opera. The Amistad story is a powerful narrative of resilience, justice, and the strength of the human spirit, perfectly aligning with Rotary's mission to promote peace and conflict resolution worldwide. True peace requires more than resolving conflicts. It demands understanding, compassion, and the ability to see the world through others' eyes. Today's performance also marks the launch of our Rotary Southern Connecticut Opus for Peace initiative, creating harmony, inspiring wellness, and embracing diversity through the arts. Opus for Peace harnesses the arts' transformative power to foster positive peace, connecting us on a deeper level to build bridges where there were once divides. My deepest gratitude goes to the Connecticut Lyric Opera for bringing this story to life, and special thanks to John Waller and Dennis Wong, co-chairs of our District Peace Committee, whose dedication made this event possible. Your commitment to peace and the arts exemplifies Rotary at its best. I also extend heartfelt thanks to Goldie James and the Westport Rotary Club, and Katie Augustin and the Westport Sunrise Rotary Club. Your support and sponsorship have been vital to making this event a reality, showcasing what we can achieve when we unite to serve our communities. Today's performance is more than just enjoying art. It's about advancing the cause of peace, one of Rotary's core missions. Opus for Peace reminds us that through artistic expression, we open the door to understanding, healing, and a more peaceful world. Thank you for being part of this journey. Enjoy the performance, and let's continue to work together through the arts and Rotary's mission to create the peace we all seek. Thank you.
And thank you to Robert for that lovely address. And now I would like to introduce you to a man who wears a lot of hats. He's the co-founder of the Peace Committee, and the founder of the Connecticut Lyric Opera. His name is John Waller, and here he is. Welcome.
Thank you, Goldie. And just to clarify, co-founder of Connecticut Lyric Opera as well. It's an honor to speak to you today about our, first and foremost, about our Opus for Peace initiative. And art serves as a powerful bridge connecting diverse cultures and fostering peace around the globe. It transcends the everyday barriers of language, politics, and geography, and it speaks a universal language that everyone, regardless of background, can understand and appreciate. And throughout history, art has not only reflected the world's rich tapestry of people, of cultures, but has acted as a peacemaker, bringing people together during times of conflict and misunderstanding. And our Opus for Peace is an attempt to build peace, peace in the world, peace in our communities, peace amongst each other, and peace within ourselves. And we're inviting every Rotary club in the district to carry out at least one project that's devoted to creating peace. Again, be it internationally, locally, or at the individual level. All to help make this world more civil, more understanding, more forgiving, and more joyful. And now about the opera, the other hat that I wear. Amistad was written by composer Anthony Davis, and we're very fortunate that Anthony's wife, Cindy, is here. Cindy? And it's amazing that she found out about this from, I think, a Google alert or something, and she was relatively in the neighborhood, so she's dropping by, and thank you very much for coming to join us. And I just wanted to say that this production, we have been granted by the National Endowment for the Arts a very generous grant to put on a full production of Amistad this spring. And this production, it's a little different than what has been commissioned many years ago and has been performed recently. But this production is based on the premise that the performers are the Amistad captives telling their story to the Mende people upon their return to Africa. And therefore, they're going to be portraying white characters along the way. So here we have an African-American portraying the President of the United States, which nobody could imagine in 1837. So we were 170 years early for that. So with that, thank you very much all for coming. And we're going to have a little discussion afterwards. And please enjoy Anthony Davis's. This is our abridged version of Amistad. Thank you.
Behold, the plight of the Mende people, the Mende captives, torn from their homeland, shackled in the bows of the Spanish schooner, the Amistad. Bound by chains, they traverse the treacherous seas, their spirits unbroken despite the grim shadows of despair. Their story begins in the depths of this vessel, a floating dungeon where hope seems a distant memory. But amidst the suffering, a flicker of defiance ignites. For within these captives, the spirit of rebellion, the spirit of resilience burns bright, whispering of freedom, whispering of revolt. Imagine, if you will, the stench of fear and the suffocating heat below decks. Here, humanity is stripped away, and the captives are reduced to mere cargo. Yet even in this abyss, they find strength and unity. Among them, a leader emerges, Cinque, whose courage and vision spark the flames of rebellion. These men, women, children were not born to be slaves. They were kings, queens, farmers, and warriors, each with a story, each with a dream now bound by iron and cruelty. As the ship cuts through the dark waters, carrying its cargo of stolen lives, a plan takes shape. I, the trickster god, unseen yet ever present, weave my magic into their hearts. I whisper ancient tales of gods and heroes, of ancestors who fought for their freedom. The captives listen, and their resolve hardens. They will not die in chains. They will fight, and thus begin their journeys. A journey not just of survival, but of reclaiming their humanity. The unknown is my route. Calamity, my kingdom. I am a god, am I not? Master of mortal disaster. I will meet this moment as I meet all others. Stalwart, audacious, and bold. What they call tragedy, I will make my history. I will make my story to be told of genius born of necessity, of courage come easy when the heart is cold. I am the dancer of all dancers, liar, thief, and lover, the one who eats when the forest hungers. When a mortal says there's a bird on the wing, they say a prayer to me. When a mortal says there's a bird on the wing, this wally god comes to sing. I am the dancer of all dancers, liar, thief, and lover, the one who eats when the forest hungers. It is only a slight mishap. My sight's a little dazed. Is it only a momentary lapse? My powers retire, but I do not fail. These are the trials a hero must suffer to make his story bold. Among gods, it's true. If you live a human life, you'll forget what a god knows. If you live a human life, you'll forget it like they do. Speaking sorrow, singing blue. Men meet with disaster week later, they think their gods take pity on them. They think their gods are heartsick too, but gods are greater than man, not nicer.
We were stolen from our land, bound and gagged, treated as mere cargo, less than animals. On this ship, the Amistad, we endured the unspeakable, the searing pain of the whip, the constant hunger gnawing at our bellies, and the endless darkness of our confined quarters. Yet, in our hearts, we carried the light of freedom. It was this light that guided us, that fueled our uprising. We fought not just for our lives, but for the very essence of our being, our right to be free. In the dead of night, we seized our moment. With fierce determination, we broke our chains and rose up against our captors. The revolt was swift and brutal. Driven by a mixture of fear and hope, we overpowered the Spaniards. The air was filled with the sounds of struggle, the clash of steel, the cries of the wounded, the shouts of defiance. For a moment, there was a glimmer of hope. We were not slaves. We were warriors fighting for our right to live as free men and women. But our dreams of returning home were dashed as we were deceived by those whose lives we spared. We were steered northward, not to our homeland, but up the American coast. We are no slaves, we are free men captured out of Africa and bound for home. We are not slaves, not one day. Captured by the American Navy off the coast of Long Island, we were taken to Connecticut and thrown into jail. Here, we awaited our fate. Caught in a web of legal battles and political machinations, once again, we became pawns in a larger game. Our fate hanging in the balance. We stood resilient, our eyes set on the promise of justice, hoping the world would see us for what we truly were, human beings, deserving of freedom and dignity. We at last have come to naught. We at last have come to naught. We at last have come to naught. Telltales shroud a dead man's cloth. The meaning is clear. The The chains return, the irons come on, the meaning is clear. We had a brush with the gods. We saw God, and it has brought us down. To be the slave became our fate, and we were caught and starved, sold on these waters. But we are not slaves. But we are not slaves. But we are not slaves. Tell me how to say it. Tell me, Lord Trickster. No words. Tell me how to say it. Tell me, Lord Trickster. No words at all. Where are the words that white men understand? They will not hear, not know.
The captives' plight reaches the American shores, where they are imprisoned and await their fate. The courtroom becomes a battleground of ideologies, with abolitionists rallying for their freedom and pro-slavery advocates demanding their return to bondage. The nation watches closely, and the case becomes a symbol of the fight against the institution of slavery. The captives, now symbols of resistance, stand resilient, their eyes set on the promise of justice. Right here in Connecticut, the trial of the Amistad captives begins. The legal proceedings are charged with emotion and politics. Abolitionists, seeing the captives as symbols of the broader struggle against slavery, they mobilize public support. They argue passionately for their freedom, presenting their case as a moral issue that transcends the legal technicalities. On the other side, pro-slavery forces, backed by the government, insist that the captives are property and must be returned to their owners. Even the President of the United States conspires with a Southern senator and the Spanish emissary to return the captives in secret.
Senator, are we helping this man to navigate our system?
Our Justice Department is making every effort, but quietly.
No, sir. We feel assured our courts will rule in your favor.
Sir, I do not understand the ways of your land. We can settle all this with the stroke of a pen.
No, sir. Our courts are free, but do not fear, relief is quite near.
I do not comprehend the privilege enjoyed by Negroes in these United States.
Nor do some of us here. A slave has no right, only a place in the court. Except he run afoul of the law.
I think a precaution is in order. Have a ship ready to return these pirates to Cuba. When your judge gives his word, there we can dispatch this matter in a trial for mutiny and murder. It's a good thought, see that it's done. We'll take one jaunt outside the town. We'll be done with this case. The blacks won't have time to appeal. We now have a change of scene. I am now playing President John Quincy Adams. I, former President John Quincy Adams, took up their cause. The trial of the Amistad captives is not merely a legal dispute, but a moral reckoning. These men, these brave souls have shown the world the depths of human endurance and the unyielding quest for liberty. They are not merely property, as some would argue, but human beings with hearts that beat for freedom. It is our duty, our sacred duty, to acknowledge their humanity and grant them justice so they might rightly live full lives. In the eyes of the law and in the eyes of God, they stand not as slaves, but as free men. Their fight is a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. It is a reminder that the quest for freedom is universal, transcending race, nationality, and circumstance. As I stand here advocating for their freedom, I call upon the conscience of this nation. Let us not be swayed by the prejudices and injustices of the past. Let us rise to the occasion, embracing the principles of equality and justice. The Supreme Court's decision will not only determine the fate of these captives, but will also reflect the moral compass of our nation. May we choose the path of righteousness, recognizing the captives as free men, deserving of their liberty and dignity. This trial, this moment in history, shall be a beacon for future generations, a testament to the triumph of justice over oppression. To one's own life, one's very breath, is the right of every being to whom God grants time on earth, in privilege or in suffering. It must not be our legacy to take men from liberty, to keep them in a living death. We hold these beliefs unbroken for ourselves and our brethren, for those needing sanctuary, who share our God and scan. Here our laws permit bondage, even beastly vengeance within our shores. But now with man taking hostage, we seek to deny even nature's law. This cannot stand. This cannot stand. This cannot stand in our land. We cannot take slaves for other slaving men, and we must not make slaves of free men. Such a moral outrage makes us all in bondage. Hear me well, my ruling is very plain. It has not been shown that these men were slaves. We shall not use the government to take people who are free and reduce them to slavery. They are free by our laws. They are free by our laws. They are free by our laws, by those of Spain and the laws of nature. We hold them no further.
The judge declared, "Hear me well, my ruling is plain. It has not been shown that these men were slaves. We shall not use the government to take away people's freedom and reduce them to slavery. They are free by our laws, by those of Spain, and by the laws of nature. We hold them no more."
I thought we had those in our natural state.
Hush, now, translator, you forget your natural state with their corrupt American tastes.
I have studied these American folk and listened to Brother Antonio. They enjoy invention as well as smoke. They love the Lothario. They court the impresario. And I chief am God of both.
No words, Lord Riddler. A new tongue you speak.
A new tongue for a new land, a God with a brand new mind.
You riddle me now for sure. How can a God get a new mind?
A new mind comes the same way to a worldly God like me, or a pitiful human like you. You change it from nay to yea. Rather than go, you stay. Lord, what do you mean? Surely you make a joke. You sail with us to Monday, to return to the bush as the smoke. I will take my leave of you, evaporate like ether, but you'll have suffered enough. You must return to Africa. I have seen the gods of the New World beleaguered and in despair. I mean to spark them up a bit with the wild dance and fanfare. They need invention and wit. A little color will help. I mean, I will live very well in America. The unexpected is my realm, and I can be found wherever humanity struggles with the unknown. I am the whisper in the wind, the shadow in the night, the flicker of hope in the darkest of times. My presence here among these brave souls was no accident. They are on a journey, not just across the sea, but through the very heart of what it means to be free. Their fight, their resilience, their unyielding spirit, all guided by the hands of fate and the will to survive. And as their story unfolds, remember this. The lines between the oppressor and the oppressed, the captor and the captives, blur in the face of true justice. The tale of the Amistad uprising is far from over, and its legacy will echo through the ages, a testament to its enduring power of the human spirit. As they say in my new village, stepped on a pin, the pin bent. That's the way the story went. Oh, yeah, I think so.
Oh, right, okay.
Are we up here for that? Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Wow, it was a great performance. Thank you all. I mean, bravo to everybody. And I'm Dennis Wong. I'm with the Westport Sunrise Rotary. Paula Mann Agnew is the discovering Amistad, who's really keeping the Amistad idea alive and well. and John Waller, who's wears many hats, Rotarian, and also Connecticut Lyric Opera, and the one who put this whole production together. And so I want to thank you all for spending your afternoon with us and sharing what's going on. And I think this is one of the things that learned about Amistad. Is Spanish for friendship.
Yes.
And this is what this whole thing, and it's ironic, the name of the ship and what it went through. But I think what the thing is, we can learn from a lot of these things. And today is about friendship, fellowship, and having some fun. And so, and after this, little discussion, if you have any questions, please step up to the microphone over there. And so I just want to say again, thank you, and thank you to Matthew Records, his piano player, and everything else. So it's really great. So, and Paula, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening with discovering Amistad and keeping the story alive?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Is anyone else here moved? Is it just me? I feel like I got goosebumps. It's just absolutely amazing. Congratulations for this incredible event. I am the executive director of Discovering Amistad. We own and operate the 129-foot Freedom Schooner. It's a tall ship. And I don't know if there are any of you that have had an opportunity to visit the ship, but it is almost an exact replica of the ship during the uprising in 1839. We used the ship as a floating classroom or a floating museum. As was already said today, this is absolutely a story about resilience. It's a story about human dignity and human rights that we all deserve. And so when we tell the story of the Amistad on the ship, and we're hoping that all of you will come visit us, we have an opportunity to look at the lessons that this historical account teaches us. The lessons about how we connect with each other. Lessons about the fact that the victims of this story are also the heroes of the story. And at any given point in the time, any of us, any of our families could be in a similar situation. The Mende fought for their lives on the ship, but then they fought for their freedom in the courts. And as our incredible artists sung about, it was all about dignity and all about wanting to get back home. And that's what this story is about, and that's why it resonates with me so much. So I just want to say that I'm so excited to be here today and look forward to hearing more from you and look forward to you visiting the ship, and we're here to answer your questions.
And I just wanted to add that the NEA grant to produce Amistad the opera, this is a joint production with Discovering Amistad and with Harlem Opera Theater. So this production will be happening in May and early June of next year, of 2025. And it's going to be performed in New Haven, in Hartford, in New London, and in New York City. So we're make sure that everybody finds out about that before we get there. But at this point, are there any questions or comments or anything from the audience? Because we'd very much like to, yes, please. Yeah, I think that you could probably just try to speak up without the microphone. No, we need the microphone. Please.
Yeah, while you're going there, just want to say, hopefully we did justice, Mrs. Davis, to the program, and we really welcome having you here. Also, just, again, for a lot of people, sometimes it's, we think about the library now and sort of accepted it, and just want to say thank you really to the library staff who really helped us put together Alex and Travis Bell and David Bibby and Jennifer. So it's really, again, it takes a lot of people to put together something of quality, and I'm glad you all are here. So.
Hi, you can hear me. I'm Judith Hamer. I lived in Westport for 37 years. I don't live here anymore. I wanted to put the Amistad in a larger context. I've known about the Amistad certainly since the early 80s. I had a roommate from Smith College who was involved in it. But this is not, it's a revolt that got a lot of press. But there were 459 slave revolts in this country, in the South, before the Civil War. Those are the slave revolts that were documented. So enslaved people never, ever wanted to be enslaved. We were never, ever content with it, and we will never, ever accept it.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
If I can just respond to that, thank you so much. And I think that's part of the reason why when we are studying this, it pushes us to learn more about other revolts. The bottom line is, as this young woman just shared, that the reality is that when you look at the bigger picture, the enslavement of African Americans was an international business, and it was an international human trafficking business where millions of people were caught in that, and has had impacts on us for generations. But all along, this fight for freedom, fight for our families, fighting for our legacy has always been a part of this process. And it's unfortunate that many of us, in learning about the enslavement of African Americans, we didn't learn a lot about this. It's one of the things that surprises me often. I guess I'm not surprised anymore when people come to visit the ship. One of the things that they say is, I didn't know very much about the Amistad story. I didn't know very much about uprisings and revolts. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so psyched about being here for this performance, because it pushes us, all of us, to learn more. So thank you for your comments.
If you can.
We do ask that you come to the microphone. We're recording this for posterity, so we need to capture your voice if you're going to ask a question.
The reason we asked to go there, it's really so that people who are, this is being streamed, by the way. And so people who are watching it can also see what's happening in your questions. So that's why we asked to go to the. What I'm asking is, where is the ship? Well, we'll get.
I'll answer that, and I'm sorry, sir, just 1 second, and that is that we performed this last night in Mystic. Mystic is the home of the Amistad, where it was built, and just as we were performing our sound check, the Amistad came sailing up the river. So right now, it's at the Mystic Seaport.
It'll be there for about 2 weeks. After that, we'll go to Montauk Point and then Harlem. There is information in the back. Please come and visit us.
Yes, Frank Wood of Westport. We have a condo resort up in Newport, Rhode Island for a couple of years. And in Newport, I guess there was some kind of presentation about Amistad. I think maybe even they have the ship there or they had the opera there. What role was played in the history of Amistad up at Newport, Rhode Island?
It's a great question. I'm not sure I have an answer. I'm not sure I have an answer for that. The ship visited Newport several years ago, and what I can say, I can't speak to the actual history of Newport, but I can speak to the level of ownership that people who visit the ship had for the story. And I know that there's connections. I know that there is a very strong history, but I just can't speak to it. Sorry about that.
And I might add that the Amistad uprising happened off of the coast of Cuba, where the captives were being transported from one side of the country to another. And as they tried to sail home during the daytime, they were sailing towards Africa, but the people that they allowed to live, the navigator, was navigating them up the American coast. And so they were caught by the U.S. Coast Guard off of Montauk Point. They were brought into, and this is the connection, Connecticut Lyric Opera is based in New London. The ship was brought to the customs house in New London. From there, the ship and the captives were brought to New Haven, where they spent most of their time during this ordeal.
Yes.
And the ship itself, it just got disposed of eventually. But the connection in Newport is that the Amistad, discovering Amistad, sails the ship all up and down Connecticut coast, the New York coast, to Massachusetts, and to Newport. And they're telling the story everywhere they go. So it's an amazing, that we have an opportunity to partner together, that we have the opportunity to do this on the ship or ship side in that Harlem performance. Our third performance of this preview is going to be on September 7th, I believe, in Harlem.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you very much. I just want to let you know that please stay, and there's some beverages and things. And before we close, I still like to bring our four people up. Matthew, Edward, Wayne,
Kofi,
and they just come up.
As they're coming up, if you don't mind,
Come on.
I just want to, I want to thank you all. I've heard the story of the Amistad many, many, many times, but there's something about artistic expression that makes you feel the story in your heart. And so I just want to thank you all for doing it so incredibly well.